Hello lovely people of the world, it's me, Adriennemariie, and some of you may know if you've been following my social media stuff, especially Instagram, because that's what I update the most, you would know that I've actually started my own business, and it's been really exciting and terrifying and overall pretty amazing experience actually. A few of you have been leaving comments and have been sharing how I've been inspiring you guys, which I feel is like super crazy because I feel like you guys inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing and to keep chasing my dreams and keep doing the things that bring me one step closer. So I gotta hand it to you guys, because without you, the fans, the audience, the supporters, I don't think anybody that you admire could be where they are today. So thank you. Thank you. Since starting this journey and kind of getting things going, a few of you have reached out to me and kind of been like, I'm passionate about something, I want to do this for the rest of my life, but I don't know how to get started. So here are my top 3 tips if you want to be an entrepreneur but don't really know where to start, like that whole shebang. Okay? Tip number 1, do your homework. My journey technically really started about 3 years ago when I started getting into personal development. In Think and Grow Rich, the book by Napoleon Hill, he shared a story about 2 brothers just doing a whole bunch of research for 2 whole years. Didn't even touch anything about getting the business started, just doing research. So they spent those 2 years doing research, and then they started their business, and then 2 years after, they became millionaires. I can't stress enough how important it is to do your homework beforehand. 9 out of 10 people that become entrepreneurs or start their own business fail within the first 3 years. What I would want for you is to minimize the amount of risk of that actually happening. And the way you do that is by studying all these people who have been doing what you want to do, aim towards doing what worked for them. Because why try to reinvent the wheel if someone has already spent 20 years of their life trying to figure this out? I would much rather read a book and spend a week trying to take everything in about it and learning as much about this book that somebody has been pouring 30 years of experience into. Do your homework. Do your homework. Tip number 2, finding a mentor. The process of how I started to find my mentor, like I said, I started getting into personal development about 3 years ago. I was really inspired by was Jim Rohn, and really taken the lessons he's sharing. I've never actually met him. I've only seen him through the screen of my computer, and actually I will never meet him because he passed away a few years ago. But to me, I feel like he's such a great mentor because he left such an amazing legacy and so much educational content out there for people to take if they're willing to take it. It could be someone you're really inspired by and just study their interviews and what their mindsets are like. What do they do? How did they get to where they get? And if you're really courageous enough, ask them and start a conversation with them and say, you know what, I'm very inspired by you and your dream is very similar to my dream and I'm just getting started and I don't know where to start. How do you start getting to where you are? And most of the time they'll be really nice about it and actually share with you how they got started. So finding a mentor is great because it helps guide you through this. They're not gonna spoon feed everything and you're still gonna have to work hard, but at least it's almost like having a rubric. At least you have these guidelines of what you need to get going and what you need to do, kind of thing. Fortunately for me, my father, he's actually been an entrepreneur for about 30 years of his life, and he's been really helpful on my journey. I'll confide in him and be like, you know what, I'm so frustrated. I feel like I don't know what to do about this area of this thing. And then he'll just recommend the right book to read to help me solve that issue. So even little things like that, like being able to find someone to share with you what content makes sense for the point you're in is really beneficial. A mentor can be someone who's just a few steps ahead of you and kind of knows a little bit more about what you're trying to do than you. So reach out to people, start asking them questions. You don't need to find just one mentor. What I would recommend is find a mentor for each specific thing that you're trying to grow. And then my third tip, which probably is like the most important actually, is you have to be passionate about what you're doing. There's gonna be a lot of time that you're gonna be working really hard for free and not earning anything. For me, I can attest to this because I've actually been working really hard to get this business going for the last 2 years. And, because it's just a lot of foundation that I'm building, it's not like profits are coming in yet. When you're passionate about something, it allows you to do more and do it to your best of ability because it turns you on, like it excites you, and you just want to do it because it's something you're really passionate about. And actually there's this whole misconception that you can lose what you're passionate about, like, I'm trying to find my passion, or I've seemed to lost my passion, I lost that spark. Darren Hardy covered this in his book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. I don't know if you saw my major breakdown in my previous video. That book actually helped me get out of that rut. Highly recommend reading it if you're interested in going into entrepreneurship. So in his book, he had this analogy that passion is like electricity. It's always running through the wires, it's always going, it's always there. And it's just waiting for someone to turn on that switch or turn on that light or just use it. And it's just there. So when people say, I've lost my passion, you can't, because it's always there. You've just failed to notice it. You've just neglected it. It's always gonna be there. Realize what you're passionate about. So that's so crucial on this journey, because if you're not passionate about what you do, no one's gonna believe in you and in your message. And if people don't believe you, how can you expect them to trade their money for the value you give if you don't even believe in it? So you need to be so in love with this idea, with this business you've got, that you'll do anything for it. Take the time to be self-aware of your passion and then run with it. So thank you so much for watching. Those are my top 3 tips if you want to get started as an entrepreneur. So do your homework, because it's super important to help you become mentally prepared, emotionally prepared, physically prepared, and business-wise prepared. Do your homework, because you know what? I wanted to be a teacher when I was in school, so do your homework. And then number 2, find a mentor, because they can help you out so much on this journey and help you kind of guide you. What's this? Posit. But yeah, sorry, Filipino joke. They can guide you. And then lastly, make sure what you're doing is something you're really passionate about, because people can tell if you're in it because you love it or if you're in it for the wrong reasons. So I would much rather that you be in it because you're passionate and you love it so much. So yeah, I hope this was really helpful. These are kind of the steps that I took to get my business going, and things are pretty exciting and terrifying, but overall it's been like super duper awesome, great learning experience, and I've been loving every step of the way, every triumph and every failure, and just the whole package, the whole shebang. But yeah, so those are my tips. I hope they really helped, and as always, do something today that makes you happy and that brings you one step closer to achieving your dreams. I need to sneeze, but I love you. And I'm out of here. Goodbye. Great outro. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. All right, bye guys. Allergies.
I'm gonna be everything I wanted. You're gonna see my wishes as they're granted. I do believe the seeds that I have planted bring to me my dreams just as I planned it. ended.